Sorry about the delay. Got caught up with something that needed to take care of. And I'm hoping that tonight will be a little bit easier for me to paint some stuff on stream. Last time I was struggling because I had positioned the camera in my way. This time I've kind of got it off on a better angle. So as I always mention, it's always a good idea to black base all parts that are going to end up metallic, because this way, once you paint any metallic color on top of it, all of the metallic paint is going to have something to contrast against because of the translucency of acrylic paint. So, because they all have a degree of translucency, if you had painted silver, for example, on top of something like this white here, you really wouldn't see as much of a shine from the silver, the metal, because it wouldn't have anything to contrast against. However, if you paint black, just flat black, with silver or gold or bronze or copper or whatever metallic color you have, the translucency of that silver paint or whatever metallic color you're using is going to end up causing the contrast between the metallic color on top that's very bright to counteract with the very dark black underneath, and thereby creating a much more noticeable metallic shine. My glasses keep hitting the camera because I can't do this with my contacts in. I always have to look over my frames because I am nearsighted. Just the hand I was dealt. I know I'm still nowhere near as close as I would like to be in completing this piece, but it's a busy time of the year. At the time of filming, we've just entered December. Hard to believe that the year's almost over. But like I keep telling people, my favorite part of December is that January comes right afterwards. And for me, January is one of my favorite months because I've always considered January a new beginning, a fresh start, a clean slate, and almost like, in a sense, new life. So I'm very happy and very thankful for it. Pro tip: if you're going to have a beverage like I do right now, it's always a good idea to have something, if not in a can, have something bottled with a lid. Now, even though there is no lid on this can of LaCroix, the odds of me threading the needle and getting my brush into the opening, not very good compared to getting my brush down here into this mason jar that I strictly use only for my paint water. So you don't want to accidentally drink your paint water or rinse out your paint in your beverage. So just something to consider, because I have come close in the past. We've all come close in the past. Usually it only takes one mistake before you wake up and realize, oh, I better figure something out. But these things do happen. My buddy Trip didn't believe me, so when I sent him a video of a much more prominent painter at Tabletop Minions, I immediately was like, okay, I gotta show him that. And I'm still sending out my link. See if I can get anybody to head over and join in the fun. I don't know if anybody's watching right now. Some of these parts I might be redoing, because the dry brushing step that I did last time, it's hard to control. And so there's a good chance that there are pieces that I'm going to need to have to touch up and correct. And I'm also going to have to consult the box art to make sure that I'm not painting anything the wrong colors, because I want to make sure that everything turns out looking the way that Games Workshop intended them to look. And that might include some black cables, and most, if not all of them, were painted or dry brushed, more accurately, silver during the last stream. You know, oddly enough, this little section right here, I probably should be painting white, because I think it might be a bright color later on, like a bright blue. I can't remember though. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. In the meantime, I'll just do what I can. I'm actually just going to consult the box art right now, make sure that got everything looking correct. So a little more silver in certain areas wouldn't hurt. Oh, well. Huh, how about that? It turns out these ribbed cables are not silver. They're supposed to be black. So we're going to have to go back to them and fix that right up. Oh, thank God for the box art. Ugh. Tremendous. Oh well. What can you do? Again, I thinned down my Abaddon Black almost to a, a contrast paints consistency, which I regret, but no worries. It'll just take a few extra layers to get solid coverage. I was planning on streaming an hour earlier, but got a phone call that I needed to take, and so now I have no idea if anybody's going to be able to check in. It's always more fun to have somebody to interact with. Oh, thank you. Not sure how to pronounce your username. If you can show me phonetically how it's spelled or how it's pronounced, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you for joining the stream. got a big backlog of other projects that I've been wanting to do for a long damn time, and most of them aren't even Warhammer related. But I do need to point out that I have several Warhammer projects that I'm very much, looking forward to getting started and, God willing, one day completed. Excuse me. In addition to all of my Tau, I have picked up that was his name, Archaon, the Ever Chosen, the Exalted Grand Marshal of the Apocalypse, and it kind of feels odd calling the figure Archaon, because in reality he's a very small part of the miniature. The real main event is Dorgar, the three-headed dragon that he's riding that represents the three chaos gods. Always too much to paint. Absolutely. Is that you, Candyman? But I've had ideas for how I want to approach painting Dorgar. Welcome back. I don't know if you got my last message about collaboration. I very much would greatly appreciate your help, because even though I've managed to get a stream going, there are so many little subtleties that I'm still trying to figure out. And like camera focus, for instance. You know what, let me see if I can try something here. See if this works. I think that made it worse. Strange. Very strange. Keep wondering what happened to Trip 118, because I've shown up to so many of his streams, and that goes for Dark Reaper, Boomer's Good, Admiral Frodo, and so far I feel very lucky to have my three good friends show up and support me. So thank you to the three of you. And I don't know if Valor C, if that's how it's pronounced, I don't know if you're the gentleman who hired me to create Superior Spider-Man, but I can't tell you how badly I'm looking forward to doing that project, because it's high time I found somebody who hired me to make something that I would actually enjoy making, instead of somebody finding me on my website and being like, hey, can you make my favorite football player? No, I can't. Life's too short. I'm the call owner. I changed my YouTube name. Oh, well. Am I pronouncing your username right? Valor C? Or is it Valor Kai? Valor Chi? Because of Trip 118, aka the Rad Russian, I never know who's okay with me. Valor C? Okay, you got it. I never know who's okay with me using their legal name and who isn't okay with it. Like me being an aspiring actor, I don't care who knows my name is Alan, but I know a lot of people that they'll actually get mad at me if I say their legal name on stream, and it's like, come on. you have a smartphone. The government already knows who you are, where you are, etc., and so forth, who you voted for, the usual. Because of this guy is just, these things are so thin and hard to pick up on camera. I think I'll go back to this portion right here. Definitely looks better on camera. It was. If anybody has any suggestions on how to better film this so that I'm not constantly turning the component away from you guys, please let me know. Last week I stopped the stream early because I just couldn't stay calm. I was so frustrated with having the camera directly in front of me. And I had no idea where the hell my brush was going. It was like painting blind to an extent. Definitely seems more stable how you have it set up now. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I know that last time I kept on accidentally knocking into the camera, and that was embarrassing. But if I could just get it to where I'd be able to easily see where I'm painting and it was constantly in focus and I didn't keep on accidentally kind of drifting off camera, I feel like I'd be set. I don't know if that's an impossible task though, but there's hopefully where there's a will, there's a way. Just hate the fact that it keeps on getting fuzzy. Ugh. I'm using a Logitech webcam. Ah, okay. All these damn cables that get clustered together down there, and this is still easier than painting those damn tabards on the Thousand Sun Space Marines. Valor C, don't be afraid to quote me on that. Also, Valor C, I hope the little one is doing well. I know his grandmother keeps posting photos. He's adorable. Yeah, as soon as I start moving my brush, it gets out of focus. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is like the first time I played Final Fantasy VIII. It's frustrating. I wonder if I kept the box. I'll have to do some digging and get back to you on that one. Let's see. I don't know if that's helping. Let me see if I can just get some more light. Yeah. Pretty sure he's using his phone. Might want a webcam and hang it above the work area. No, I'm not using my phone. I'm using the Logitech one that I bought. My phone's right here, and it's not even on. Well, somebody did text, so I'm going to check that real quick. Another person writing to tell me they can't watch the stream. All right. You know what? I think I'll just do some more silver, just so that we don't have to keep staring at this flat black metal parts that shouldn't be flat black. Actually, you know what? Should use a smaller brush than that. What do we got? You look promising. mentioned having a Tau army. Did you get them recently, or you had them from? I've had them, I'd say, for a while, and they've all been donated to me by friends, including Valor C and my older brother. I've got a. I can't remember. I know I have a Tau commander, and at least one or two other big vehicles, and a kill team that I am proudly going to be painting in the style of the red and blue army from Rooster Teeth, red versus blue. So, got that going for me. And it takes all my self-control to not just scream "Tau for sale" every time that I mention them, because that's been a running gag with one of the YouTube channels that I love watching with Uncle Adam Smasher. His friend, award-winning painter Sam Lenz, helped helped him sell his Tau back when he didn't want to play them anymore, and he ended up regretting selling them off because, from what I hear, they finally balanced the Tau and made them actually not terrible. And that's kind of where it all started for me. People heard me talking about the Tau, and they were like, "This might be our one chance to get him to play Warhammer with us." So they started donating parts to my cause, and I greatly appreciate it. It's very thoughtful. But because of at the time they were just god awful, when he asked Sam to help him sell his Tau at a convention, he just stood there with his middle finger pointed at whoever was looking at him and just screamed at them, "Tau for sale," which, let's face it, was about as good a chance as you'll ever have when you were trying to sell Tau back then. You were basically flipping them off and letting them know that this horrible team was available. But from what I hear now, they're actually like one of the best ranged characters out there. Superior marksman. And one of my favorite things about them, they pilot Gundams. My brother and I would get into frequent arguments because he has constantly tried, and even back before I ever even had interest in playing, he would hang out with friends who got him into Warhammer. And when they tried to tell him you have to pick an army, he kept insisting that he wanted to play all Dogs of War. And they kept on trying to hammer into him that's not possible. The An army made entirely of mercenaries is not an army. It's just a bunch of mercenaries, and they would never all work together because they're all trying to make money on their own. It breaks all definition, and he just refused to accept it because he just loved the Dogs of War so much. And first time I heard the term Dogs of War, I actually thought they were literal dogs or like lycanthrope werewolf characters, but I had never heard the term Dogs of War used to describe a mercenary before until I played Metal Gear Solid for the first time after you beat Sniper Wolf the second time. I was tempted to get them due to them looking like Gundams. Exactly, yes. Blood Axe orcs are all mercenaries. Oh, cool, cool. paid in teeth. Wow, that's hey, to each their own. I mean, if they use it as legal tender, who am I to judge? I mean, look at the cheat. He gets paid in pencil shavings. And he also, being a model builder, used those pencil shavings to buy a model kit from Bubs. Damn. Ugh. All right, so he's finally starting to get a silver plated armadillo tail. Hey, just out of curiosity, you guys obviously know what I'm working on. What have you guys been working on lately in the whole model painting realm? Who's painting what for what armies? Got a new painting desk set up. Going to work on a lot of small Tyranids, but just cleaning mold lines off some bits at the moment. I know how that can be. Yeah, but you got to put in the time. Otherwise, there's going to be so many little things that add up, and eventually it's just going to take away from the finished part. So it's not the most glorious job, but it's more than necessary. Put in the time. Yep. Thankfully, it's newer Tyranids parts. A lot of the older ones have terrible mold lines, basically hacking off chunks of plastic in some cases. Right. Yeah. I don't know what's been going on with my wet palette lately. I don't know if I'm using it wrong, if I'm over saturating it, but I feel like I can't leave paint in here too long. Otherwise, it just breaks down into nearly liquid because this used to be Mephiston red or corn red, one or the other. And it just looks like caribou crimson at this point. And yet, if I mix it up, it starts to take on more of that corn red appearance. The problem is you can't really paint with it. It's basically a glaze at this point. And so I don't know what happened exactly, if I'm just overloading this thing or am I not alone? Because back when I used to make my own palettes out of Tupperware, it worked perfectly. And yet now when I'm using these professional wet palettes, this keeps happening, and I don't know why or how. But I was hoping to get some blue onto these robes. But now I'm not so sure if I should or if I should try. Also, Valor C, were you thinking of doing the snowy bases for this one in keeping with the other mini that you gave me that the color scheme was based on? See, this has the consistency of one of the contrast paints, and I know it's not a contrast paint because before I transferred it to a dropper bottle, and I did not thin it down with any medium of any kind, it was just, what was it, Thousand Suns? I think it was. Caldor Sky, was that it? Yeah, it was Thousand Suns, yeah. Shoot. I keep forgetting if I readjust my seat, I can't bang my desk, otherwise the camera's going to start wobbling around. Oh well. Good idea for this type of technique, which again, at this point, it's basically like using contrast paint, is to start at the highest point and then drag the paint down. That way, the heaviest amount of pigments are going to settle towards the bottom of the component. And if you try to push and manipulate the majority of the pigment into the deep crevices and valleys, that'll help with creating deep shadows, and all of the surface area that remained mostly untouched will be a lot brighter and have more of the white showing through from the priming. I keep accidentally getting those silver shoulder bells or whatever you would call them. I don't know if those are shoulders or hips or whatever the hell you call these robot limbs, horse legs down there, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, that's definitely a lot more fun to see than when I'm just painting things black and silver. And I feel bad that it's taken this long, but hopefully once I start doing some real color blending, then this thing will really come to life. In the meantime, I'm still feeling like I'm fighting a war with a damn camera. I'll send you a picture of it, and I'll try to see if I can find the instruction manual. Um, that goes for Valor C2 because, as mentioned earlier, I'm not using my cell phone. I just got to find a way that I'll be able to capture more on camera without upsetting the painting process, because it's definitely been an awkward transition for me since I'm so used to just having something like right up to my face in my hands. And now I keep feeling like, unless I had some kind of optic implant that allowed me to record everything that I saw through my own eyes, there's no real way that I could ever really capture the painting experience. As this is definitely making it harder, but it is good to see blue on those robes. And again, once Valercy lets me know how he wants this figure to be based, I feel like that could be not necessarily a quick video, but I imagine it'll go by faster than painting the entire thing, which it's deceptive how long stuff like this is going to take you. A lot of people who don't paint miniatures, they usually think, how hard could it be? I mean, they're small, it should be fast, right? Well, the reason the fact that they're small is the reason why it takes so long, because the margin for error grows exponentially. But I think I'll call it there for the night. It's been about an hour. I'm expecting a phone call in about 20 minutes. And I got to yell at Trip for not watching my stream, even though I have been a very loyal viewer of his damn streams, where he wastes so much of my time playing dumb games about NPCs, fighting NPCs, and bragging about how PC gamers are the glorious master race. Yeah, we never saw zero punctuation. And I don't care what anybody says, they're not. I I prefer very heavily. You're just gonna have to forgive me. I prefer a console game all the way, and yeah, I don't need to play whatever battle simulator Trip was playing. Uh, Lots of bits that you can get paint where it shouldn't be. Yeah, yeah, that's one of the things that definitely slows you down, is all the mistakes that end up getting made. I made plenty just during this video, and just you got to go back and regroup each time. But I think again, I'm going to call it here for the night. Thank you very much for stopping by. If anybody gets a hold of Trip, please sock him one for me, and hopefully next time things will only continue to improve. Yep. You too. Both of you guys have a good night. Feel free to message me whenever you want, and I'll hopefully continue to get better and better at this stuff. Peace.